Welcome back, everyone. This is Mr. Paredes, and today we are going to go over lesson 2.3, applying integer operations. Okay, so we're going to use order of operations with multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting integers, right? We're going to put it all together, and I'm going to go over a few example problems for you to help you. This is starting on page 49 in the workbook, right? So let's do a few of these examples, and hopefully this will help you with your assignments. All right, so let's look at example number 1 here. Hannah made 4 withdrawals of $20 from her checking account. She also wrote a check for $215. By how much did the amount in her checking account change? Okay, so the key words here are the withdrawals and that she wrote a check, right? So those tell me that these are going to be negative values, okay? Both of those will be negative values. Now, for her withdrawals, we know it's negative 20. That's what she took out. But she did it 4 times, right? So I know I'm going to multiply this by 4. Now, if you really want to, you can add negative 20 4 times, right? But it is quicker to multiply it. So this will tell us how much it changed with the withdrawals. But she also wrote a check for $215, right? So that means I have to add that in. And it is a negative $215. Right? So now we have our equation. This is going to tell us how much the amount in her checking account changed. Right? So I want to use my order of operations, right? Your PEMDAS, your parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Well, in this case, we have multiplication and we have some addition or subtraction, with these double signs here, right? So let's go ahead and go through this. So I'm going to rewrite this equation 4 times negative 20, and this would be minus 215. Okay? Now, I can multiply first 4 times negative 20, and that would give me negative 80. And then I'm just going to bring down the rest. Okay, now I have 2 numbers. They're both negative, so they're the same sign, so we can add them together, add their absolute values together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 5 plus 0 is just 5. 1 plus 8 would give me 9, and the 2 would come down. Now, they were both negative. We keep the sign, right? Because they're both the same sign, so we keep that sign. So it's actually negative 295, and it'll be dollars. So that was the change in her account. It was a negative change of $295. All right, so let's look at example number 2 here. 3 brothers each have their own savings. They borrow $72 from their parents for concert tickets. Each brother must pay back an equal share of this amount. Also, the youngest brother owes his parents $15. By how much will the youngest brother's savings change after he pays his parents? All right, so what we know from this is they borrowed $72, right? And it's 3 of them that borrowed. Now, each brother has to pay back an equal share, right? So they're going to pay an equal amount of that $72 between the 3 of them. Also, the youngest brother owes $15. on top of that, right? And we want to find out how much will the youngest brother's savings change, right? So this is money coming out of the youngest brother's account, his savings account. So what I do know is they paid back $72 between them, right? All of them together. So we can take that amount and divide it by the amount of brothers, right? Because that'll give us the equal parts that they had to pay or that they borrowed from it. Also, he has another expense, right? He borrowed $15, or not borrowed, but he owes $15 to his parents as well, on top of what he borrowed for the tickets. Okay, so now we have our equation. And like before, we want to do our division and multiplication, right? Before we do any of the addition or subtraction. Now, what I do want to do, though, is get rid of both of those signs, right? I don't want a plus and negative. So I'm going to rewrite this, and I know I have 72 divided by 3. And because it's a positive and a negative, it's going to really be minus 15, right? So I have division and I have subtraction. So I want to do the division first, because that's what we have to do as far as order of operation. So I'm going to go 72 divided by, or negative 72 divided by 3 first, right? So we can go ahead and do this over off to the side, right? So 3 goes into 7 2 times. That would give us 6. And we'd have 1 left over. Bring down our 2. 3 now goes into 12 4 times, which would be 12. And that leaves us with nothing left there. So negative divided by a positive, I'm going to have a negative answer, right? Negative 24 minus 15. So now we can combine these together, right? They're both negative. They have the same sign. So we add them and keep the sign. So I know this is going to give me a negative answer, but I'm going to go ahead and add them, the absolute values, over here on the left side of the screen. Right, so now I have 4 plus 5, which is 9. And then 2 plus 1 would give me the 3. So that means it is negative $39. So that's what the change was in the little brother's, or the youngest brother's, savings account. All right, so let's look at example number 3 here. We have negative 42 divided by negative 6 plus 5 minus 8. Right, so we want to use our order of operation. We have a lot going on in this equation, right? So I'm not really worried about parentheses right now because there's nothing inside the parentheses other than the negative 6. There are no exponents. There's no multiplication in this equation, but we do have division. So that's what we have to do first. So I want to start with negative 42 divided by negative 6. Okay, so negative 42 divided by negative 6 would give me a positive 7, because negative divided by a negative is a positive, right? So we're done with this part, and I can go ahead and bring the rest down. Now in this part of the equation, I have 7 plus 5 minus 8. There's no multiplication or division left. So with just addition and subtraction left over, I can just go from left to right. Okay, so I'm going to start on the left. 7 plus 5. Well, 7 plus 5 will give me 12. Then I just bring down the negative 8 or minus 8. So from here, 12 take away 8 equals 4, and that would be our answer for this equation. All right, so let's look at example number 4 here. Just like example number 3, we got quite a bit going on, right? Some mixed operations here. There's some division, multiplication, and subtraction. So we don't have to worry about anything inside the parentheses going on. There are no exponents, so we can go ahead and move into the multiplication division section, right? Well, what I notice is this section right here. I have 35 divided by negative 5 times negative 7. Well, I'm going to go left to right, so my focus is going to be on 35 divided by negative 5. Well, 35 divided by 5 is 7, right? Now, a positive divided by a negative, right? They're opposite signs, so it's negative. Okay, now I'm going to bring everything else down. So I have times negative 7 minus 9. Now for this part, again, I have a multiplication still, so this should be my focus, right? So negative 7 times negative 7. Well, 7 times 7 is 49, and a negative times a negative is a positive, right? Whenever they're the same sign, it's going to be a positive product, all right? So from here, I can bring down the minus 9. Well, 49 take away 9 is just 40, okay? So those are just some examples of how to set up these equations and then solve these equations. All right, class, so that's it for lesson 2.3. Hopefully this video was helpful to you and it gave you a better understanding of how to complete these assignments, right? If it was helpful or you enjoyed it, click the like button. If you're one of my students or these videos in general are helping you, subscribe to the channel, right? I'm going to keep making these videos for you guys based on our book work, right? Our curriculum. And even if you're not in this class, hopefully it's, helpful to you if you're a 7th grader, wherever, hopefully these videos are helpful to you as well. For my class, as always, make sure you're submitting your work and take care.